What's up, dudes? Chooch back with another video out here on the Veteran Sherman. This is the top of the line electric unicycle. If you're looking for one of these half e-bikes or electric unicycles, whatever you want to call it, these are a unique thing, and they really are something that I don't think people understand at first when you look at it. One thing that is a common thing that I'm getting now is, hey man, you can get a dirt bike, you can get a motorcycle for the same price as that thing you're riding, and 100%, I absolutely know that. And the crazy thing is, guys, is I actually have a motorcycle. I've raced motorcycles, I've raced go-karts, everything in between. I actually recently sold a KTM 150 XC, which was a nice two-stroke dirt bike. I love two-stroke dirt bikes, and I got rid of it because I didn't ride it anymore, and I ride this so much more often for some reason. And if you told me that as a dirt bike rider, years ago before I ever stepped foot on this, I'd think you were absolutely an idiot. I'd be like, dude, you are a fool. You look like a fool. What are you riding on? And you could get a dirt bike for that price, dude. And and I respect that because somebody looking at this from the outside in, everybody's gonna have their opinion of whatever it may be, and anything new to somebody, especially if you've never tried it before and it's not really benefiting you in any way, it's easy to form an opinion about it. So I ended up getting into these things back before they ever were high performance. So this is riding really a high performance unicycle right here. You can pre-order one of these that I'm riding on. It has 25 5-star reviews on the website right below in the link below. We're accepting $1,000 deposits for it. If you click that link, you'll get hooked up. I just checked, and if you put your pre-order in now, you have a chance to be able to get your unicycle in mid to late August. So there's not too much of an extended time period for these things. Like I was saying in a few videos back, we're kind of getting to the point of catching up. So if you do want to place your order, you can do that. Anyways, this one right here is the 3200 watt hour, as a lot of you know it, 2500 watt motor. And this right here is just from where I started at, a few years back, guys. And I never really got into it necessarily for the high performance and fun side of riding. Whenever I got into it is kind of what I'm getting to. And the reason I got it is just for commuting, getting around and not skateboarding everywhere, because skateboarding it got to be impractical every single day. And one thing I really liked about this over just skateboarding, if we're just talking about it in the dynamic of just commuting around the city or something like that, if you are a skateboarder, this right here is completely, a lot of the models, especially when I started on, is completely contained in the fact that it has a fender over the whole back. Now this one doesn't, and I had to make my own. But I mean, I understand you can do that on a bike or whatever, but on a skateboard, essentially on a rainy day, that is terrible. You get stuff thrown all over you, and it's just a mess. With this, you're good to go, man. You can just get on this and cruise through rain, snow, slush, whatever. That's a huge benefit right there that I liked, in itself. And whenever I got that thing for commuting, it's just so easy. You can have both hands free. So if you do need to carry a box, to the postal office, if you do need to carry something down the road, which you run into all the time, you don't need anything for it. The best thing to carry an awkward object or a large object is your hands. I've actually carried a 55-pound, or actually I think like a 70-pound unicycle in a box. Just carried this thing. Carried the whole box with the unicycle in it just straight to the FedEx store whenever I lived in Denver. It was like 3 miles away. But it just shows what you can do. You could never do that on a bicycle, and it'd be really hard pressed to do it on an electric skateboard. You could maybe, like sit on the box or something, but there's no way you could use it in an industrial, work way of actually transporting something or working with it like you can with these things. I helped a guy one day that was completely broken down. He was broken down on his Harley, and he needed a push, to get out of the road in the awkward situation he was in. And these things, it has enough power. I don't suggest doing it, but there's videos out there, if you search them, of people literally pushing cars with these things and just doing a torture test, basically see how long they can push a car with it. And I think one like this could really do it if you did it in the right way. You know, if you got it with some momentum of it and everything like that. But it pushed a Harley up the hill, no problem. I said, dude, just put your feet up and steer it. He's like, wait, what? And he just listened to me, and he just was like, he put his feet up and started steering the Harley. I pushed him up out of the way and got him out of traffic real quick. He thought it was amazing. But you know, just these things are unique in that way. That's why I'm explaining it. Is there's so many. There's no way you should compare it to anything because it's not that. You know, this is a unique thing, and comparing it to, you know, a dirt bike, for example, or comparing it just to one compartment to like an electric bike, or just in one compartment to an electric skateboard, or anything like that is just so hard to do because it's such a unique machine, and and I think it's like skiing a lot. Even though I'm a snowboarder, this is a lot like skiing. And if you are a person, an avid skier, you will be able to get on this thing and absolutely cruise like butter. Once you get the initial stage down of it, you get over the first little learning phase, if you're into skiing, man, you're going to be able to get on this thing and just have the time of your life, have so much fun. It's going to be like an endless ride. I mean, think if you could go to the ski resort and just ride all day, never have to spend time getting on the lift, and think about how fast you would get better and develop your skills and get that muscle memory down if you never had to have that interval of time being on the lift. And this is what's amazing about this, is because unlike downhill mountain biking, unlike mountain biking in general, where you have to put in that time all the way in that uphill, you're not developing anything, you're just exerting energy, you're not developing any skills doing that. When you're downhill mountain biking, for example, at a resort or something like that, using a lift, you're not developing any skills whenever you're on the lift. This, you can just go and ride, you know, and you really get better quick because you are riding the whole time. And you just can go so far on one charge, you know, 100 or so miles on one charge of this, you know, like 105 miles conservatively. I'd say 75, you know, giving it a hard time like I am right here, and you know, trail riding it up hills and whatnot. But I want you to look at this, guys. I want you to look at how this thing climbs this switchback. And I was not even expecting this trail to end up going up this hill. I mean, a mountain, essentially, is what it is. These are pretty fresh cut trails in here, and just climbing a mountain through these switchbacks. And I want you to just think about just the size of this thing, how small it is, and just how this thing is just cruising up this terrain like nothing, and how we've gone from the road, now we're in trails. You could ride this in snow, you could ride it on the beach, you could ride it through grass, you could ride it, you know, on gravel, you could ride it on pretty much any surface you can think of. I've even rode it on ice before, and with this tire you could ride it across a frozen solid lake. It literally is the ultimate adventure wheel. And this right here, in the range you can get, is essentially, if you want to think about it, guys, is essentially what you would be getting out of a, think about like a dual sport dirt bike. You would have to put one of the large tanks, the large capacity gas tanks on it to get 130 miles. I mean, I think I don't even know if you can do that, get 130 miles out of any gas tank on a motorcycle. But with this, you can do it. It's small enough to where you could literally take it in a situation where, think about if you lived in like Seattle, Vancouver, somewhere like that, you could take this on the ferry for the discounted price of like a bicycle or something like that. You could take it across to your destination, ride all day, and it's so unique in the fact that it is not a motorcycle, and I think it should not be compared to that at all. And you see me coming with all these names and everything like that, you know, half e-bike, everything like that. People kind of, you know, give me a hard time about it. The whole reason that I'm kind of doing this, guys, is because no one's going to be searching for EUC on the internet, okay? So you got to think about this, guys. The way we're kind of getting more people involved in this hobby, which I think more people involved in it, the better. The way we're going to get more people involved in it is reaching out to different people, okay? So if someone's looking at an e-bike or something like that, and then this pops up, instead of that, this might be exactly what they're looking for, or at least they may want to give it a shot, you know? Or if I label it as electric dirt bike, somebody might be looking at like a Segway or a Chiron or something like that, and they see this and like, whoa, you know, I could get that and live in my studio apartment and not sacrifice half my apartment to the machine. And this may just fit it, this may fit that person. It's not a person that's heard of EUC or electric unicycle. And it's really an uncommon thing. It's like typing in the color combination green, yellow, purple, green, yellow, red, purple, green, yellow, red, upside down, left, right into Google. It's like maybe like 4 people did that today. That's kind of where we're going with the SEO terms of e-bike, and that's why I kind of call it this at certain times.